Hey guys, Mark here from Whitebox, and just thought I'd have a chat with you about cash flow forecast and planning for the summer. I've just come back from a week off, and it's always quite hard when you're away, especially when you're working on your own. You're worrying about the business, if money's coming in. And I'll tell you what, the worst thing for me is the week before and after you go away on holiday. It always seems to be so busy, and you're thinking to yourself, is there any point in going away when it gets so busy and coming back afterwards and trying to clear up? But there are a few things that I did before I went away to make sure I could have that break, and have the break from the emails, from the phone calls. So first of all, if you've got some kind of cash flow forecast, a spreadsheet, even if it's quite basic, where you know where your regular incomes are coming in, so if you've got a contract that pays out, and also so you know what's going out. You don't want to be going away and leaving suppliers without money, chasing you up. That's more phone calls that are going to happen while you're away. So it pays to plan ahead if you're away for a week or 2 weeks. I spoke to someone today who's going away for a month, so it's really important to know what's going to be coming in and what's going out. So really, a cash flow forecast, you can pinpoint all those pinch points, all those places where it's going to come in, and hopefully as well, if you know where it's coming and your customers are well trained, you can make sure that payments are automatically set to go up out the account. So you've probably got DDs for your phone and for regular payments, but sometimes you might not have regular payments set up for the suppliers because those amounts change. You'll spend more or less. You might spend some more money with one supplier or less with the other. So secondly, you could use something like a VA service, which is a virtual assistant. Now, if you haven't got any staff working for you, these are a great way to chase up invoices while you're away. You can sometimes chase all you like, but some customers are just rubbish at paying. It's great if you can try and get your customers into a routine of either paying on invoice, paying up front. So we take a deposit up front for larger jobs. People are more than happy if they like your service to pay for something up front. But obviously if you've got some contracted larger clients, that's not going to happen. You have to sometimes go with their terms. So you might use a VA or someone that does your books for you, just gentle chasers while you're away, just to make sure that money's still coming in. Just an email, so you're not worried about has he paid, has that paid. You know that someone's going to be just doing gentle chases on those invoices coming in. Third point, go back to suppliers. Just make sure they're going to get paid on time. The last thing you want to do is to come back, find out you're on stop, no one's paid any money, there's no cash in the bank, there's nothing worse, you're pulling your hair out, or you're just worrying about it while you're away. If you can make sure that money's coming in, you can make sure the suppliers are being paid, especially as you're getting towards the end of the month or end of 30 days. So that money is going to be coming in, going out the bank quite regularly. Point number 4, make sure you use an out-of-office email. If people know you're away, normally they'll give you some time, they'll leave you alone, or you can point them in a direction. So I set last week an email, a responder on my email to say, hey, I'm away for a week, I'm going to be back on this day. If your call is really urgent, please call the office number, which actually I've got a telephone answering service, so those people, they take the call and then they text those through. Now generally that'll filter out a lot of people. If someone emails you and it's not urgent, they're going to wait, they know you're away. But if they email you and there's no responder, they're going to be email again, he's not got back to me, maybe he hasn't got his email, maybe they'll phone you while you're away and say, hey, did you get my email? So the responder just lets them know that you're away. If you're using a telephone answering service and they do feel that it's an urgent call, they can phone that telephone answering service. They normally message you with a message via email or text, and then you can decide whether you need to call that customer back. So really it's just about making sure the choices are with you, about who you phone back, and doing it in your own time. There's nothing worse than being away. When I'm away with my family, I want to engage with them, I want to spend that time. We work hard so we can have time off. The last thing I want to do is be at the beach, be at the pool with my kids on the phone. I can take those calls when I want, and I can call those people back in my time. And hopefully most of them will understand you're away and they can get hold of you when you're back. If you've got staff working for you, make sure they understand how the roles and responsibilities that you normally do will be split out between them. So you can assign people to take your calls, to take messages. Make sure they know what customers are important to get back to straight away, what customers can wait, and not to bother you with sales calls or things like that. It took me a while to get it. When I had some mechanics working for me, when I had a garage, it took a while before the phone calls stopped. So every time they go out to a job, Mark, should I do this? Mark, should I do that? Trying to empower them to do the work and to understand that they have the call on the job. And actually, if they make the wrong call, not to bash them. You know, when they come back, just say, look, it's maybe not the way I would have done it. I might have done it this way. If you're constantly bashing them for the jobs that they're doing and the decisions they're making, they're not going to have the confidence to go through with the job, even if it's not in the same way you've done it. That's about training and trust. So really it's about delegating and reducing those phone calls and those emails and those calls for help. If they have the tools and the staff to be able to get on with their job, be able to make the call on their own, you're not holding all that decision process back, then you're going to have a better break away from the business. And one of the last main points I want to cover is make sure you set yourself some time after you've come back. So if you're coming back to work on a Monday after a week or 2 weeks away, make sure you schedule that time out purely to catch up with all those requests, all those emails, all those phone calls, all those messages that you haven't caught up on. If you book work straight in from day one and you're straight out of work, then people are going to start chasing you. If you've had auto responders on your email, they're going to know you're back. So all you're going to do is have a flurry of calls, you're trying to get on with a job, you're trying to fit a part. There's nothing worse than the phone ringing and ringing and ringing. Diagnostic jobs for me are the worst. If you're in a diagnostic job, you want your head in the right space. Now most of the time actually my phone is either in my van or it's actually on silent, so I can come back and answer those calls when I want. But it's really important to schedule out that first day back to catch up with things, to get back to people. That's really what it's about. It's about customer service. You can be really great at your job and really great at what you do, but if you're not getting back to the customers, if you're not giving them the service, they're not going to come back. They're going to go away. People are needy, right? We're all needy. So you need to be able to, deal with those requests as they come in. So scheduling out that little bit of time can make things easy. So book the jobs in on a Tuesday. Go back to work then. Just keep that first day aside for catching up on everything. So hopefully there's a few tips there for going away on a summer break, keeping it stress-free. Now I'm always up for learning, so if you've got any tips or advice that you can bring back to me, please leave a comment in the box below. Please, if you haven't subscribed or liked this channel already, please like and subscribe. Every Friday now we're going to have a video going out with tips and advice on being the organised tradesman. You can find out more about us at www.whiteboxuk.co.uk and also subscribe to the Organised Tradesman newsletter, which you can find there too, where some of the topics that I've just discussed will be emailed out on a weekly basis. So all the tips and advice for running a trades business. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark Cropley. Goodbye.